Book 1 Chapter 20. On Vyasa doing his duties. The rishis said, O Suta, what did Veda Vyasa do when the highest yogi, Shuka Deva acquired all the excellent supernatural powers? Kindly describe all these in detail. Hearing this question, Suta spoke. O rishis, Vyasa already had with him many disciples, Asita, Devala, Vaishampayana, Jasamini, Sumantu, and others, all engaged in the study of the Vedas. After their studies were over, they all went out to propagate Dharma on the earth. Then Vyasa, seeing that his disciples had departed and his son Shuka Deva had ascended to the next world, became deeply distressed with sorrow. Wishing to leave his current abode, he decided to return to his birthplace. He journeyed to the banks of the Ganges, where he recalled his auspicious mother, Satyavati, whom he had forsaken before, filled with sorrow. She was the daughter of a fisherman. Leaving behind that heaven-like mountain, the source of all happiness, he returned to his own birthplace. Reaching the island where he was born, Vyasa inquired about the whereabouts of the beautiful-faced Satyavati, the daughter of a fisherman and the wife of a king. The fisherman replied that their king had given her in marriage to King Shantanu. Then the king of the fishermen, upon seeing Vyasa, gladly worshipped him, offered a cordial welcome, and spoke with folded palms. O revered one, how may I serve you? O Muni, since I have been so fortunate to see you, one who is rare even among the Devas, my birth has been sanctified today, and you have purified my entire family. O Brahman, kindly say what brings you here. My wife, my son, all my riches, and everything I possess are at your disposal. Thus, after hearing the history of his mother, Satyavati, Vyasa established an ashrama on the beautiful banks of the river Sarasvati. There, he remained in tapasya, his mind enlightened with wisdom. Some time passed, and the highly energetic Shantanu had two sons through his wife, Satyavati. Vyasa Deva considered them as his brothers and was filled with joy, even though he himself lived in the forest, devoted to austerities. The first son of King Shantanu was Chitrangada, a prince endowed with all auspicious qualities, exceedingly beautiful, and a formidable warrior who tormented his foes. The second son was Vichitravirya, also blessed with all noble qualities. King Shantanu was overjoyed to have these children. Before this, Shantanu had another son through his wife Ganga, a great hero and a mighty warrior. The two sons of Satyavati were equally powerful, making the royal lineage even stronger. The high-souled Shantanu, seeing his three sons, all endowed with auspicious qualities, began to believe that even the Devas would be incapable of defeating him. After some time, the righteous Shantanu renounced his mortal body, just as a man discards his worn-out clothes in due course. After King Shantanu ascended to the heavens, the valiant Bhishma duly performed his funeral obsequies. He also offered various charitable gifts to the Brahmans, honoring the sacred rites. Bhishma did not claim the kingdom for himself. Instead, he placed Chitrangada on the throne. He became renowned as Devavrita, one who remained steadfast in his vows, like the Devas. The pure-souled Chitrangada, born of Satyavati, grew immensely powerful. By the sheer force of his arms, he became such a formidable hero that his enemies faced endless troubles. One day, the greatly powerful Chitrangada, accompanied by a vast army, set out on a hunting excursion into the forest in pursuit of game, including deer. As he journeyed, the Gandharv Chitrangada caught sight of the king. Descending from his celestial chariot, he stood before him. O ascetics, a fierce battle raged for 3 years on the sacred and vast battlefield of Kurukshetra between the two mighty heroes, both equally powerful. In the battle, King Chitrangada, the son of Shantanu, was slain by the Gandharv Chitrangada and ascended to the heavens. Upon hearing the tragic news, Bhishma, born of the womb of Ganga, was overcome with sorrow. Surrounded by the royal ministers, he carried out all the funeral obsequies with due rites, and then installed Vichitravirya on the throne. The beautiful Satyavati was deeply agitated by the death of her son. However, when the ministers and the high-souled spiritual teachers consoled her, she found solace. Her sorrow turned to joy upon seeing her youngest son, Vichitravirya, ascend the throne as king. Meanwhile, Vyasa Deva also felt exceedingly glad to hear that his youngest brother had been crowned ruler. After some time, when Vichitravirya, the all-auspicious son of Satyavati, reached the age of youth, Bhishma began contemplating his marriage. At this time, the king of Kashi, Kashiraja, organized a Swayamvar, an assembly where kings were invited, and the bride had the privilege of selecting her groom. The occasion was arranged for the marriage of his 3 daughters, all endowed with auspicious qualities, to be held simultaneously. Thousands upon thousands of kings and princes from various realms were invited to the grand Swayamvar assembly. They were duly honored and welcomed, and they took their places, adorning the hall with their majestic presence. At that time, the highly energetic and formidable Bhishma, alone and mounted on his chariot, charged into battle against the assembled kings. With unmatched prowess, he attacked the infantry and cavalry, defeating all the rulers present at the Swayamvar. By sheer force, he carried away the 3 daughters of Kashiraja and brought them to Hastinapura. Bhishma treated the 3 daughters with the utmost respect, as if they were his own mothers, sisters, or daughters. Without any delay, he informed Satyavati of everything that had transpired. Then, Bhishma summoned astrologers and Brahmins well versed in the Vedas and consulted them to determine the most auspicious day for the marriage. When the auspicious day was fixed and all the preparations were complete, the righteous Bhishma prepared for Vichitravirya to marry the 3 princesses. At that moment, the eldest daughter, with beautiful eyes, spoke modestly to Bhishma, the son of Ganga. O son of Ganga, the illustrious scion of your family and the foremost of the Kurus, you are the greatest knower of Dharma. What more can I say to you? In the Swayamvar assembly, I mentally chose Salva as my husband, and I felt that he, too, gazed upon me with a heart full of love. O tormentor of foes, now, do what is right for that sacred family. O son of Ganga, you are not only extraordinarily powerful, but also the foremost among the righteous. Salva had also mentally chosen me as his wife. Now, act as you see fit. When the eldest daughter spoke these words, Bhishma consulted the elderly Brahmins, ministers, and his mother, seeking their counsel on what should be done. After considering everyone's opinions, he turned to the princess and said, O beautiful one, you are free to go wherever you wish. Thus, Bhishma released her. The princess of Kashiraja, adorned with grace, then journeyed to the palace of Salvaraja and poured out her heart's desire before him. O great king, knowing that my heart belongs to you, Bhishma has released me in accordance with the laws of Dharma. Therefore, I have come to you now, marry me. O best of kings, I shall be your rightful wife, for I have always considered you as my husband, and surely you must have thought of me as your wife as well. Salva replied, O beautiful one, when Bhishma seized your arm before my eyes and took you away in his chariot, I lost my right to marry you. Therefore, I cannot accept you as my wife. Salva continued, You tell me, what intelligent man would marry a woman who has been touched by another? Therefore, even though Bhishma has released you, treating you like a mother, I cannot marry you. Hearing these words of Salva, the princess of Kashiraja wept bitterly. Yet, Salva remained firm and refused to accept her. Finding no other option, she returned to Bhishma, tears streaming down her face, and spoke as follows. O great warrior, Salva refused to marry me, saying that you had first taken me onto your chariot and later abandoned me. So, O Mahabhaga, you are the knower of Dharma. It is best that you uphold righteousness and marry me. If you do not accept me, I shall have no choice but to end my life. Hearing her words, Bhishma replied, O beautiful one, how can I accept you when your heart has already been drawn toward another? O fair one, it is best that you return to your father with a calm and clear mind. When Bhishma spoke these words, the daughter of Kashiraja felt overwhelmed with shame and chose not to return to her father's house. Instead, she departed to the forest and, in a secluded place of pilgrimage, began practicing austere penances in deep asceticism. Meanwhile, the 2 other daughters of Kashiraja, the beautiful and all-auspicious Ambika and Ambalika, were married to King Vichitravirya. Thus, the powerful King Vichitravirya indulged in various pleasures, enjoying the luxuries of the palace and the beauty of the gardens, passing his days in delight. For 9 years, King Vichitravirya indulged in sensual pleasures. However, he was soon afflicted with consumption and fell into the jaws of death. Hearing the tragic news of her son Vichitravirya's death, Satyavati was overcome with grief. Surrounded by her ministers, she carried out his funeral obsequies with due rites. Then, with a grieving heart, Satyavati spoke privately to Bhishma. O highly fortunate son, now you must take charge of your father's kingdom and ensure that the lineage of Yayati does not perish. take your brother's widows and do your utmost to continue the family line. Bhishma then replied, O mother, have you forgotten the vow I made before my father? I have sworn never to marry or rule the kingdom. I cannot break my promise. Hearing these words, Satyavati became deeply anxious. Satyavati began to ponder, how can the continuity of the family be preserved now? It is unwise to remain idle while the kingdom stands without a ruler. There can be no peace or prosperity in such a state. Thus, lost in deep thought, Satyavati became exceedingly distressed. Sensing her turmoil, Bhishma, the son of Ganga, spoke to her, O revered one, do not burden your mind with worry. Instead, take steps to ensure that a son is born from Vichitravirya's widow, so that the lineage may continue. Call a distinguished Brahman, one born of a noble lineage, and arrange for him to unite with Vichitravirya's widow, so that the royal lineage may continue. As far as I know, there is no fault in taking this course of action to preserve the family lineage. O sweet smiling one, once a grandson is born, grant him the kingdom, and I shall also honor and obey his commands. Hearing the wise and reasonable words of Bhishma, Satyavati recalled her own son, the sinless Vyasa Deva, who was born to her during her virginity. The moment she thought of him, the great ascetic, radiant like the sun, appeared before her and bowed down in reverence to his mother. The highly energetic Vyasa was duly worshipped by Bhishma and warmly welcomed by Satyavati. He then remained there, resplendent and powerful, like a smokeless fire. Then, Satyavati spoke to the great sage Vyasa, O my son, now, through your divine essence, beget a beautiful and noble son from the womb of Vichitravirya's widow, so that our lineage may continue. Hearing his mother's words, Vyasa regarded them as the injunctions of the Vedas, believing they must be honored and obeyed. He solemnly promised her that he would fulfill her wishes. Thus, he remained there, waiting for the proper time, when Vichitravirya's widow would be in her menstruation period, ready for conception. When the proper time arrived, Ambika bathed and united with Vyasa, conceiving a powerful son. However, during the union, she closed her eyes upon seeing Vyasa, and as a result, the child was born blind. Seeing that her grandson was blind, Satyavati became deeply sorrowful. She then turned to Ambalika, the other widow of Vichitravirya, and instructed her, Go at once and conceive a son in the same manner, so that our lineage may continue. When the proper time arrived, Ambalika went to Vyasa at night and conceived a child. In due time, she gave birth to a son, but the child was born with a very pale complexion. Seeing this, Satyavati felt disheartened, believing that this child, too, was unfit to rule the kingdom. Thus, at the end of the year, she again urged Ambalika to go to Vyasa for the same purpose. When the time came, Ambalika, overcome with fear, did not go herself. Instead, she sent her maidservant in her place. Thus, from the womb of the maidservant, the high-souled Vidura was born. He was endowed with the essence of Dharma and was the most auspicious among all, possessing great wisdom and virtue. Thus, Vyasa begot 3 powerful sons, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura, ensuring the continuity of the family lineage. O sinless Maharshis, I have now narrated how my Guru, Vyasa Deva, who is well versed in all the dharmas, fulfilled his duty by begetting sons in the wombs of his brother Vichitravirya's widows, strictly in accordance with the laws of Dharma, to preserve the royal lineage. Thus ends the 20th chapter of the first book, as well as the first skanda, on Vyasa fulfilling his duties, in the Mahapurana Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, composed by Maharshi Veda Vyasa, consisting of 18,000 verses.